178. The practice of our time. When the king's grace came first to the right of the crown and unto the governance of the realm, young and expert Thomas Wolsey, a man of lust and courage and bodily strength to do and to suffer great things, and to endure all the manner of voluptuousness, expert and exercised in the course of the world, as he which had heard, read, and seen much policy, and had done many things himself, and had been of the secret council of weighty matters, a subtile as subtle as Sinon that betrayed Troy, utterly appointed to assemble and disassemble, to have one thing in the heart and another in the mouth, being thereto as eloquent, as subtle, and able to persuade what he lusted to them that were unexpert, so desirous and greedy of honor that he cared not but for the next and most competious way hitherto, whether godly or ungodly. This wily wolf, I say, in raging sea and shipwreck of all England, though he shewed himself pleasant and calm at the first, as whores do unto their lovers, came unto the king's grace, and waited upon him, and was no man so obsequious and serviceable, and in all games and sports the first and next at hand, and as a captain to courage other, and a gay finder out of new pastimes to obtain favor withal. And thereto, as the secret communication went, with by many tokens thou mayest well conjecture and gather to be true, he cocked the king's nativity and birth, which is a common practice among prelates in all lands, whereby he saw whereunto the king's grace should be inclined all his life, and what should be like to chance him at all times. And as I heard it spoken of divers, he made by craft of necromancy graven imagery to bear upon him, wherewith he bewitched the king's mind, and made the king to dote upon him more than ever he did on any lady or gentlewoman, so that now the king's grace followed him, as he before followed the king. And then what he said, that was wisdom. What he praised, that was honorable only. Moreover, in the meantime, he spied out the natures and dispositions of the king's playfellows, and of all that were great, in whom he spied meet for his purpose. Him he flattered, and him he made faithful with great promise, and to him he sware, and of him he took an oath again, and the one should help the other, for without a secret oath he admitted no man unto any part of his privities. And ever as he grew in promotions and dignity, so gathered he unto him of the most subtle-witted, and of them that were drunk in the desire of honor most like unto himself. And after they were sworn, he promoted them, and with great promises made them in falsehood faithful. And of them ever presented unto the king's grace, and put them into his service, saying, This is a man meet for your grace, and by these spies, if aught were done or spoken in the court against the cardinal, of that he had worded within an hour or two, and then came the cardinal to court with all his magic to persuade the contrary. If any in the court had spoken against the cardinal, and the same not great in the king's favor, the cardinal bade him to walk a villain, and thrust him out of the court headlong. If he were in conceit with the king's grace, then he flattered and persuaded and corrupted with some with gifts, and sent some ambassadors, and some he made captains at Calais, Hamas, Guinness, Jersey, and Guernsey, or sent them to Ireland and into the north, and so occupied them till the king had forgotten them, and other were in their rooms, or till he had sped what he intended. And in like manner played he with the ladies and gentlewomen. Whosoever of them was great, with her was he familiar, and to her gave he gifts. Yea, and where St. Thomas of Canterbury was wont to come after, Thomas Cardinal went oft before, preventing his prince, and perverted the order of that holy man. If it were subtle-witted and meet for his purpose, her made he sworn to betray the queen likewise and tell him what she said or did. I know one that departed from the court for no other cause than that she would no longer betray her mistress. And after that same example, he furnished the court with chaplains of his own sworn disciples and children of his own bringing up to be always present and to dispute the vanities and to water whatsoever the cardinal had planted. If among those cormorants any yet began to be much in favor with the king and to be somewhat busy in the court and to draw any other way than as my lord cardinal had appointed that the plough should go, anon he was sent to Italy or to Spain, or some quarrel was picked against him, and so was thrust out of the court, as Stokely was. He promoted the Bishop of Lincoln, that now is his most faithful friend and old companion, and made him confessor, to whom of whatsoever the king's grace shrove himself, think ye not that he spake so loud that the cardinal heard it, and not unright, for as God's creatures ought to obey God and serve his honor, so ought the Pope's creatures to obey the Pope and serve his majesty. Finally, Thomas Wolsey became what he would, even porter of heaven, so that no man could enter into promotion but through him.